Have you ever wanted to be a psychic and know about a customer's issue before they call in to tell you? Well, let me show you how you can get close with Microsoft Dynamics and Azure. Welcome to Frontline Focus. I'm Cody McClanahan, a technical specialist in the Biz Apps unit of the South US here at Microsoft. I'm coming to you with our second video in this series and still on managing incoming demand of work. And today we're going to focus on IoT, Internet of Things, connected assets, so you can see that the telemetry and know what is happening and can react before a customer is calling or emailing like our last video. So this is still going to be a reactive maintenance scenario. But now that we have this data and can use Azure Cognitive Services for our modeling, we can get to a predictive scenario where we can start promising uptime versus just a service charge. And that gets many of my customers very, very excited. So let's jump in. All right. So here I am in my system. And I have a IoT simulator inside my Azure environment just because I don't have a physical asset I can start tweaking readings on. So here is just temperature and humidity on a transformer. So let me just go on and crank up. Let's just do it 86 for now. And you can see the messages that it is transmitting. And so what's going to happen is we are going to get an alert inside of Dynamics Field Service that says, hey, your device is above a reading. So let's see that come in now. And so you can see, hey, we're getting a temperature reading of 86, exceeding a threshold of 70. Now, what's really nice here is we can add additional layers of automation, right? So first, we could click in it and dive in, but I've actually created it that, hey, if you're within a certain threshold, go and create a case so my customer service people are aware and can maybe start troubleshooting that. So let's see that here. And we see that alert has come in. So let's click in on here and see what information it's brought in. Again, hey, your transformer is offline, additional statement about customers, and we haven't really gone into what all is included in Dynamics. But the thing I wanted to show here is we can send a message back to that device. So I'm just going to reset the values here. Let's just go on and bring that temperature back down to 65. And I'll send that command and we'll see that work inside of the simulator. You can see that temperature start driving down, again, receiving that message. Hey, it has been received. And so maybe that's it. Maybe we don't need to send anybody out. But what if it did start spiking again? Let's crank it up to 109, for example. And so now we're transmitting that. And again, that level of automation that I'll show in a second is we create a case when it was below that threshold. But actually now I'm going to want to create a work order because I want someone to get out there when it's so high. So let's see what it created. And there you have it. That work order has been created to follow the normal process of scheduling out that work. And I know we'll talk about scheduling in a later day. So let's recap what we saw here. Again, I'm back inside of Dynamics Field Service on my IoT alerts. You can see those two alerts we had come in. One at that 86 level where we were able to send back a command. And then the second one, when it came back, I spiked it at 109, and you can see the status of that work order created. So let's pull back the curtain a little bit and see how that works. And so I have a Power Automate running that says, hey, when that IoT is created, here's a condition I want you to do. Hey, if it's over 90, create a work order and actually, post in Teams. We have that flexibility as well. And the opposite, if it's over the threshold that creates an IoT alert, mine is 70, but under 90, then just create a case and follow that flow. And I will now jump into the Azure side to show a little bit more of how that threshold is created. So a bit on the setup side of things. Again, I will link the learn.microsoft.com on setting up and configuring the IoT hub. But essentially, it has a GitHub repo that with an ARM template that you can deploy. And I'll log into my Azure so you can see, and it's going to create all of these resources, right, including the logic apps that are reading it, as well as the IoT hub to hold the devices and have that communication back and forth between Dynamics as well as Azure. And the one last thing I wanted to show again is just how I have the device rules simply set up here that just says, hey, if the temperature is over 70 degrees, let's go on and create that alert. And that's all the setup. Now, I know I went through the Azure side of the house pretty quickly, mostly just due to this focus of this series is Dynamics Field Service. However, if that is something of interest to dive deeper into, please leave a comment and we can capture it in a later video. So I wanted to end back on this case entity because, again, the purpose of having these connected devices with Azure IoT Hub and Dynamics Field Service is getting that near real-time communication of something is happening with our asset or our customers' assets so that we can be able to respond before getting that call or email. And I want to show how we get to a more predictive state with some of the dashboards I've had set up. So let me click over to that now. So, in an attempt to live up to my industry agnostic promise here, I moved away from the electric transformer and went more to an oil and gas compressor here at a gas gathering site. But the important thing is, this is a connected asset here, and I am getting those readings. However, I'm taking it one step further with using Azure Cognitive Services to identify, hey, because of those readings, I estimate that you only actually have 10 days left before there's a lost time incident. I know you were going to do service at 31 days, but we really need to get someone out there now. So, getting to that predictive maintenance and being able to service, again, our assets or our customers' assets before something happens. That's a wrap. I love the suggestions I got off our first video. So please keep them coming on problems you want me to solve or great solutions you've created. Thanks for tuning in to Frontline Focus, Dynamics 365, Field Service in a Flash. Stay tuned for more quick tips and solutions to keep your frontline operations running smoothly. Until next time, keep your focus on the frontline.